Minimum, aka small miracles, are special powers that only pop up in a lucky few. Those who rock these abilities are called minimum holders. It's 2014 in Yokohama. The detective duo, Naris and Murasaki, known as Hamatora, are hanging out again today at their go-to spot, Cafe Nowhere, which doubles as their office. As they wait for work with their friends, a new job lands on their desk. But this isn't just any gig. It's got a funky link to the serial killer that their cop buddy, Art, is hot on the trail of. The story kicked off when Nice and Hajin strolled into a bank, only to find it getting robbed. While everyone was freaking out, Nice was like, "Not my problem," and kept chatting with Murasaki. Art, the police superintendent, thought the cops had got it under control, but Nice was the real MVP. Later, at the coffee shop cum Hamatora Detective Agency office, Kamiko handed out two tasks: arrest kidnappers or guard a safe for the Toyosaki family. Berth and Ratio chose to guard a student, while Nice and Murasaki picked their gigs. Murasaki went for the high-paying safe job, while Nice went for the other task. They split up. Nice was out there trying to be a detective, while Murasaki played safe investigator. Nice tried to get info from Mao, who was like 30 yen or no deal. Ark, who had already paid Mao, eventually slid Nice the details. Nice smelled something fishy and called Perth. Then an intruder appeared, lifting their car like it was a toy and demanding a secret code. Azusa, scared out of her mind, gave it up. Berth tried to save the day, but ended up looking like a confused emoji. They brought Azusa back to the coffee shop, where she revealed she needed a bodyguard because apparently her life was like a drama series. Nice told Murasaki, and they rushed to help, though Ratio's car broke down, making them run like they were late. When they arrived, they got hit by the same dude who could make things weightless. Is this a live-action superhero movie or what? Nice showed up, did his cool snap and knockout thing, and ended the drama. Murasaki found nothing but CDs in the safe. Later, Art suggested they inform Hamatora about a serial killer. Two students, Theo and Rai, asked the team to find their missing teacher, Kitazawa. Nice and Murasaki went undercover. Nice as a student and Murasaki as a student teacher. During math class, Nice solved a question perfectly and noticed a strange app on a classmate's phone. They traced the app's creator and learned how to use it. Theo revealed he was bullied and Kitazawa had helped him. Murasaki later found Kitazawa's body, missing its brain. Art identified the killer as targeting minimum holders, including Kitazawa. They found photos of Theo being bullied, taken using Kitazawa's IP address, which shocked Theo. Using Kitazawa's power, they turned bully posts into photos. Theo and Ray then went to Kitazawa's funeral. They found a bomb at the school and heard Kojima, a bully, yelling because he wanted revenge after the photos went viral. Nice used his power to speed up the bomb's timer and moved it, but he bumped into a man. Murasaki threw the bomb into the sky. They then faced Kojima. Theo talked to Kitazawa at the funeral portrait. Meanwhile, Art found out from a doctor that people without special powers could get them through brain surgery. Nice didn't realize that the man he bumped into was Moral, a serial killer who took brains from minimum holders. On his way home, Art remembered Nice's warning about a serial killer, but felt safe. Shoko, who ran the Association for the Health Protection and Equality of Youths, had hired Hamatora to look into problems at Facultas Academy. Shoko offered 1 million yen now, and 3 times that when the job was done. Nice wasn't sure, but Keno took the check. Shoko talked about Murasaki's high rank at Facultas and mentioned the top scorer no one knew about. Murasaki investigated alone while Art and Gasuk looked into the serial killer and Shoko's association. Art met Moral, who admitted using Nimro to grant abilities to those without them. Surprised, Art tried to leave, but Moral stopped him, noting Art's jealousy of those with powers. During Shoko's speech, a manhole cover was thrown and a huge monster emerged. Art was called and said he'd return with an arrest warrant. Murasaki fought the monster while Nice watched. Moral then told Art he was responsible for Takahiro's state. The team pursued Takahiro, and when he attacked, Nice defeated him and blew a whistle Takahiro had, causing him to cry. The morning after the fire was put out, they stumbled upon an underground tunnel, which they figured was how Moral had made his grand escape. Art called Honey, who was on a mission with three, to help out. Honey used her power to see 10 minutes into the future. Nice suspected the case might be linked to Takahiro, so he met with Art. They figured out that the kids were hooked on a video with hidden messages about guns that only kids under 15 could hear. They tracked down Yuki, the video creator, who had no clue his video was being used to recruit future gangsters. Yuki argued with Moral, who decided to make him an offer he couldn't refuse, like permanently, because Yuki threatened to report him. With just 20 minutes left before 6 p.m., they still didn't know where the kids were heading. Honey managed to find out that it was Cosmo Land, just 10 minutes before the deadline. Art called the cops, and with Murasaki's help, they stopped the plan right on time. At a bustling market, Hajime totally stunned everyone by hitting the jackpot with a load of Wagyu hamburgers. Honey then gave a crash course in Tokyo etiquette, because apparently that's a thing. Ratio brought up bedrock bathing, and the trio, Hajime, Honey, and Kamiko, decided to use their burger jackpot for a staycation in a one-room spot. Meanwhile, Minowa asked Nice and Murasaki to spy on her boyfriend, Arata Hasuda, after his weird behavior at a hot spring raised her suspicions. They also saw a group of boys, who turned out to be Minowa's other boyfriends. Elsewhere, Art and Gasuke were at a convenience store, where Art hadn't gathered much useful info. They later spotted a suspicious man. Meanwhile, the girls were buzzing about their vacation and a 10,000-year Club Deluxe dinner coupon. They'd also watched a video of Nice's former client. At the hot spring, Hasuda was texting when a gang crashed the party, causing chaos. The gang stormed the women's dressing room and tried to escape, while in the men's room, they started hallucinating like they were on a bad trip. Nice and Murasaki jumped in to fight the gang and bumped into Ratio and Birthday. Hasuda showed up, took off his shirt, and started doing sit-ups. Like, bro, this isn't a gym class. Birthday tried to join in, but Ratio was like, not today. The steam caused hallucinations, making Murasaki and the others flee. Later, Art arrived just as the girls, now fired up, decided to leave. Hajime tackled a thug at the entrance, while Honey used her powers to figure out what was going on, only to find out they were just complementing each other's muscles. The team found a safe spot away from the steam. News broke about the Abakahat Republic Crown Prince visiting Japan. He was heavily guarded and didn't go to the 10,000-year club without his entourage. While the prince was in the bathroom, Hasuda appeared from above. The girls used a vent to sneak in, but ended up in the men's dressing room. They discovered Seiji Hijirikawa, a pop star with a scandal involving Hasuda, which led to Hijirikawa's withdrawal from the entertainment industry and his descent into crime. Hasuda, tripping on hallucinations, confused Minowa. The girls kicked Hasuda out, accusing him of using his assets to fund his plan. He used his powers to control the prince and demanded Hijirikawa's return as a pop star in Japan. Thugs emerged from slimy water that Hasuda spilled, causing mayhem. Hasuda took the prince to the roof, making demands to the police outside. Hajime surfed the slimy water to the roof and saved Hasuda from attempting the ultimate fail. Later, Gasuke interrogated the suspect, who broke down. Nice watched from above, curious about who was behind it all. Gasuke learned that the doctor couldn't harvest a minimum holder's brain. One day, while the doctor and Gasuke were reviewing information on Yuki's murder, Gasuke attacked the doctor, revealing himself as Moral in disguise. Meanwhile, Birth visited Ratio in the hospital where they saw their old classmate Chiyu, now a famous artist on the news. Later, Chiyu was put to sleep and kidnapped. Her manager Shuichi asked Birth and Ratio for help, suspecting Director Mid was behind it. Chiyu had told Shuichi to avoid the police and contact them if something happened. They questioned Chiyu's rival Misty, as Shuichi suspected her. Misty denied involvement and wondered why she would target Chiyu when she was more successful. She dismissed them, but Ratio wanted to investigate further. At a coffee shop, Nice was surprised to see Chiyu, who mentioned a request for Hamatora. Bert stepped outside to take a call and was knocked out by an attacker. Ratio later received a call instructing him to bring Misty to a building to get Birth back. Honey warned him that the police would be there, making it look like Ratio had kidnapped Misty. Birth woke up and saw Chiyu. Ratio explained his past with Birth to Misty, who then shared it with Chiyu. They discovered Shuichi was behind everything. Shuichi admitted he preferred Misty for sales and fought Ratio. After Birth freed himself, he and Ratio attacked Shuichi, injuring him. Shuichi tried to flee but was captured by Murasaki and Nice. Chiyu's manager avoided involving the police when Shuichi called the minimum a load of crap. Nice got more hooked on the serial killer and told Art to set up a meet with Moral. Meanwhile, Moral, pretending to be a doctor he'd offed, sneaked into a facility to swipe the forbidden minimum. While Nice and Art were chewing the fat about this mess, a cop gave Art the heads up about the theft. Art ordered Moral's mugshot to be blasted everywhere, but Nice was skeptical, thinking Moral might be playing dress-up as an employee. Art told Nice to butt out and met up with Honey and 3. With the surveillance footage scrubbed clean, they couldn't figure out who snatched the minimum. Art then found a black Cosmos flower in his place and realized it was from his sibling's grave. He freaked out, raced to the cemetery, and found Moral there, flaunting a black Cosmos with Art's gun trained on him. Art demanded to know why Moral snagged the forbidden minimum if he was all about equality. Moral spilled that he wanted to save someone, hinting at Nice, which floored Art. Moral explained he saw Nice at the faculty academy, got the whole lonely power bummer vibe. He wanted to be on the same level as Nice, but Art wasn't having it and swore to protect him. Pissed off, Moral went all out on Art, ripping him for not having the minimum and failing to keep Nice safe. He offered Art the minimum, but Art was like, no thanks. Then Moral jabbed Art with a knife. As Art tried to pick up Nice's call, Moral stomped on his hand, whispered some nasty stuff, and pumped him full of lead. Moral answered the call as Art, making Nice think Art was safe. Moral's assistant handled Art's body. Moral knew he wasn't ready to face Nice yet. Shuji from the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare needed them to find the creator of Ideal, a drink causing permanent unconsciousness. Shuji avoided police because his brother Hiraji made it. Meanwhile, the school of Theo was in Okinawa, so Nice and Murasaki joined. Theo and Ray were barred from the beach by men who challenged Theo to a triathlon with the Loser Band. Theo accepted, confident he and Nice would win. While looking for Hiraji, they saw M and got help from Theo to find Hiraji's house. They found Hiraji sleeping and dreaming about saving classmates from demons. Murasaki told Shuji about Hiraji's past. Theo asked Nice to join the triathlon and Nice said yes after seeing the prize. A group of men including Birth and Ratio showed up and later Honey and 3 joined too. Murasaki thought about his past losses since meeting Nice. The next day Birth and 3 were disqualified right away, and then Ratio was too. Nice easily beat his other opponents until only he and Murasaki were left. They decided to fight hard. While they were fighting, Shuji brought Hiraji, who started crying. In the end, Nice won against Murasaki. Gasuk, who had no clue he was talking to Moral, said Art was buried in work. Nice cruised back to the coffee shop and found Honey and 3 just hanging out. Honey spilled that 3 had been hitting up an orphanage he discovered ages ago and was having nightmares from a screwed-up rescue mission. Later, Art told Honey and 3 they were out of their fucking depth with Moral's case for safety reasons, but Honey wasn't having any of that bullshit. A client wanted 3 investigated, and the news went bonkers over the orphanage due to 3's sketchy past. A reporter dug up 3's old crimes, leaving Honey stunned that 3 ran an orphanage, but he agreed to check it out. 3 said he was looking after the kids from his explosion's victims and was bracing for the shitstorm to come. Honey decided to get his hands dirty and help raise the kids. That night, mercenaries stormed the place. A fan-turned-mercenary attacked Honey, pissed off about 3's actions. Honey and Murasaki jumped in to help. After Nice clocked Masayoshi, 3 used his powers to save Honey and the kids from a fire. Masayoshi started while Moral watched, gearing up his crew for more chaos. Some people went back to their old bullies and killed them. Nice and others were going to the coffee shop when they saw girls running away from something. They also saw Takahiro, who should have been in jail, walking toward them. They took him to the coffee shop, where he said he had been let go by a man in black clothes. Takahiro said these men were special and wanted help from Hamatora to look like he used to. Nice said no and left. Protests against people with special powers grew. Momoka put location links in anti-special posts to help people fight back. Meanwhile, Moral watched the riots. Discrimination in schools got worse, and a child with special powers was bullied. Nice couldn't reach Art on the phone, so he went to the Yokohama Police Department. The office was empty. He then went to Moral's apartment rooftop and saw Moral. He asked Moral about Art. Moral turned into Art and then back to himself. Moral shared his goal to help people without special powers catch up with those who had them. He mentioned causing trouble in the city. The group saved Chiyu and found out she also had special powers and was being targeted. Before their fight, Moral attacked the Civic Center where Shoko was speaking. When a tank came to harm Shoko, Takahiro arrived to protect his mother. He teamed up with Murasaki and Hajime to fight back. Takahiro showed his true power, but the enemies managed to bring him down. Nice arrived and stopped the attacker. Moral watched the media coverage of the Civic Center and decided to set off a bomb in Takahiro's body. Hajime was heartbroken and Nice, furious with Moral, saw Hajime's sadness trigger her own powers. An enemy came at her, but she blocked the hit and threw a punch before fainting like a sack of potatoes. Meanwhile, Moral had jabbed himself with something to keep things rolling without slowing Nice down. Honey and Berth's crew shut down the robot party. Berth got a smackdown from an old enemy and stuck around to brawl while Berth chased down more robots. Momoka didn't see Kasuke coming. Nice and Murasaki squared off against Moral, who was flaunting the forbidden minimum and dodging Nice's moves like a pro. Nice figured out Moral's trick was teleportation. Moral smugly explained he could pop up within a 10-meter radius and casually drop that they were headed to Yokohama Media Tower for some twisted science experiment. Inside the tower was Hibiki, a minimum holder with a screen that could kill. Momoka's master plan was to mess with Hibiki during mass phone calls, making people lose their hearing and go crazy for a minimum. Nice tried to take down Moral but whiffed and got flattened. Murasaki showed up but got his butt kicked too. Nice, catching the sound of Moral's snapping, swung again and finally landed a punch. Moral felt the sting of the forbidden minimum. Just then, Art barged in, dropping the bomb that having two minimums was a no-go and blasted Moral to Kingdom Come. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story and want more thrilling recaps, hit like, share, and subscribe for more epic recaps.